there's going to be some level of change to this Knicks roster. Now, do you go for a landmark player? Do you try to look into Giannis Antetokounmpo? Do you look at Kevin Durant? On Kevin Durant, I will say this. The Knicks, there was some mutual interest between Kevin Durant and the Knicks at the trade deadline. The Knicks made an offer for Kevin Durant at the NBA trade deadline. Obviously, there was no Kevin Durant trade. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, hold on a minute. He just told you that there was mutual interest between the Knicks and Kevin Durant at the trade deadline. Obviously, that didn't happen. The Knicks right now are clearly demonstrating they are in win-now mode. They just fired a coach who took them to the conference finals. The NBA draft is 3 weeks from yesterday. So we're talking about basically 2.5 weeks between now and the time where a trade like this might get made. Do you believe the New York Knicks should be willing to do what it takes to trade for Kevin Durant to try and put them into the championship?
Of course you have to do whatever it takes. It's cinema. You get Kevin Durant into the Mecca, into the Garden. What is that not only going to do for the NBA and the fans, but the New York Knicks were a couple games away from being in the finals. So this takes them over the top. And then, like I said, having a talent, having a Hall of Famer like Kevin Durant, his leadership, adding to those younger guys, his ability to be able to get a bucket at any time. And the roof is going to be off the charts in the Garden if you see Kevin Durant out there.
Marcus, let's do some math. New York Knicks plus Kevin Durant equals what?
Equals finals. They're equals finals. The Boston Celtics are the best team in the East, right? We're not going to take nothing away from Indiana. They're hurt right now. So if you add in Kevin Durant to a New York team with all the pieces that they have, obviously they'll have to come off a few, and that'll be interesting to see who they actually come off of. But the key thing is, we know KD going to sit out 10, 15 games. Like, they still have a team that can win without him being there. What we've seen in Phoenix this year is when Kevin Durant sat, the team was significantly worse, right? Like, that was the glaring part. And now you get to play in New York in the Garden. I played in the Garden for a half a season. The best place, it's the best place to play. And I don't know if Kevin Durant know this, but I'm going to tell you this. You will really enjoy it, brother. It's a great organization, great fan base. New York is popping, and I think he will fit perfectly, seamlessly.
This reminds me so much of July in 2019, being a part of that thing with the boardroom and KD when he went to Brooklyn. The thought around KD going to Madison Square Garden was legitimate. Rich Kleiman, who is his manager and runs 35 Ventures and Company, is a diehard New York Knicks fan. And the reality is the pieces just didn't seem to be there for New York at that time. And the thought of what it could have been with Kyrie Irving, the situation seems so much more stable now with leadership and the pieces that they have, that the timing right now in 2025 feels like the most elite timing for the Knicks to go over the hump and win a world championship.
Suddenly,
just being honest,
we've got an unbelievable finish in Game 1 of the Finals, and we have both Giannis and Kevin Durant very likely in play in the next 2 weeks. Don't miss a moment. Mutual interest between the Knicks and KD. We know, Brian Windhorst, that the Knicks are in win-now mode. They just fired a coach who took them to Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. That's about as championship or bust as you can possibly be. If there was interest then, will there be interest now? The draft is in less than 3 weeks. What should we be expecting?
Well, the big thing here is how is a Kevin Durant trade going to operate? Because remember, the Suns have a completely new front office and a completely new coaching staff. Brian Gregory has really a very minimal track record of how he's going to operate here. And one thing that Kevin Durant has made clear, if he's going to leave the Suns, he would like to have control over where he goes. If that ends up being the case, I would expect the Knicks to be on his short list, and I would expect the Knicks at the very least to at least explore it. Whether it happens or not is a different story because the Eastern Conference is so wide open. But I can't emphasize enough, with the Durant trade, it is not 100% clear yet whether the Suns are going to want to control it, whether Durant is going to want to control it in conjunction with the Suns. That's a very important facet.
Well, you going to say howdy first?
Well, howdy, Matt. This is preliminary. This is the New York Knicks doing their due diligence on Jason Kidd. Among other candidates, they have not approached the Mavericks to ask for permission. They would have to be granted permission to interview Jason Kidd, to make any sort of an offer, certainly. We will see. There's an anticipation we'll get to the point of them requesting permission. We will see if the Mavericks would grant that. They are under no obligation to do so. And the Knicks' ability to make a trade, well, their draft capital, those assets have been depleted significantly by the deal that they made, giving up 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges last summer.
And again, if you're going to fire Coach Thibodeau, right, a guy that's helped build that culture and the energy and brought that energy back to New York, then you have to go after a coach like Jason Kidd, right? Think about this. Jason Kidd is a coach that he coached Jalen Brunson, so he know what Jalen Brunson likes, right? Jalen Brunson is familiar with him, and you have to bring someone that's in there that's going to be neutral, that's going to hold guys accountable, and also that's respected. And Tim, I'm just interested to see. I mean, does J. Kidd have interest as well?
Well, I would say money talks, and I think the New York Knicks have a whole lot of that.
They do. They do.
Perk, I appreciate you for everything.
No.
Okay, I was going to say I appreciate you for everything that you just said, but I really can't concentrate with that hat
it shows
on your head. I'm not going to lie.
What's wrong?
Off the rails.
It looks great.
What's wrong?
We'll
I'm telling you, they got a beautiful collection over here at Lancaster's. A beautiful collection. And
okay,
I thought it just,
we'll talk about
I thought
that
it
a
matched
little bit
my
later.
skin tone.
It looks good. It looks good. We'll talk
I
about
thought
that.
it matched my skin
Do
tone.
they have your
The
size?
Knicks, as constructed right now, are a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference with Indiana and Cleveland. They just need to improve that bench. And certainly with Giannis, listen, they're going to be one of 29 teams that are going to make a phone call if he does become available. But I just think when you look at how this roster is constructed right now, what it would take to get him and what basically dismantle this roster, I'm more on the continuity factor.
Alan?
Come on. When you have an all-time great available, I feel like, Bobby, you've got to do whatever it takes. You find a way, somehow, some way, because if you don't get him, maybe somebody else in the East does, and that changes everything. I understand the continuity part of it. I understand that's what the Knicks want. But I also know it's the Knicks. It's the biggest market, and he's a superstar. He's an MVP finalist 7 years running. He's one of the best players in the league. And when you're trying to end over a half a century of not winning a championship, you got to figure out a way. Bobby, there has to be an avenue to getting Giannis Antetokounmpo if he wants to play for the Knicks.
Well, Bobby, what is that avenue?
Well, I would say this. Listen, they're in almost in an identical spot where they were last September before they made that Karl Anthony Towns trade. They've got one pick. That's from the Wizards. We don't even know if that's going to convey because it's top 8. So now you're looking at remove Jalen Brunson, likely remove Karl Anthony Towns from the equation. You're looking at a combination of OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, Mitchell Robinson there. That is a lot to go out and do it. And then you got to look at it from Milwaukee's perspective. Is that even good enough compared to what they can get from other teams?
J. Will, final word. Giannis, yay or nay for the Knicks?
I think, look, building around the margins, I like the thought for Bobby, depending upon how much value you have to extract. The only thing I would say to New York fans is, as I look across this league, there aren't too many players that are New York City. And Giannis is one of those guys. And I know they're close to winning a world championship, but I'm not sure they're as close as they think they are consistently, considering the way the body types are of Karl Anthony Towns and, once again, Jalen Brunson for the long term. That is a question a lot of fans have to ask themselves. Is this in the best interest for us long term, considering injuries and other things that could occur?
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports here, and what does this represent? Represents the Knicks. So let's talk about the Knicks. Before we do that, here, gonna dive right into the NBA playoffs. I never would have thought that game 1 shot by Halliburton was just unreal. But then again, he is clutch. He is clutch. So I have no idea who's gonna win that matchup, but really good game, really good series. Look for OKC to put up a fight, and obviously Halliburton is just doing Halliburton things. So let's get back to the rumors, right? So the rumors here, it's a big New York state of mind. And what I mean by that is the fact that, you know, New York Knicks got, I wouldn't say kicked out of the playoffs, but lost, obviously, to the Pacers. Now, you know, for a franchise that has not won in quite some time, and you fired Tom Thibodeau, so you know changes are coming, right? So the New York Knicks have asked permission to interview Jason Kidd. Okay, so you want to interview Jason Kidd. Why? Because Jason Kidd was originally picked out by the Knicks before going with Tom Thibodeau. So now you want Tom Thibodeau. And the reason why we're coming to Giannis is because of the fact that Giannis is an elite superstar. And the Knicks want that kind of cachet. They want to get over the hump. They want to make the finals at least. So what better player to have that than Giannis, right? So you have Giannis, and now I'm hearing rumors of Kevin Durant. I don't know if they're that strong compared to Jason Kidd or compared to Giannis, but the fact that Kevin Durant has one more year left on his contract, and it's got to be a three-way trade, because I'm hearing that the Phoenix Suns do not want Karl Anthony Towns in a swap for Kevin Durant. So you got to have a three-way trade here. But what I'm also hearing from Jake Fisher is the fact that Kevin Durant thinks he's going to end up on the Spurs. Spurs can get it done, right? They have the assets. They basically have what it takes to pull off a trade, whether it be Giannis, whether it be Kevin Durant. But then again, let's not sleep on Toronto Raptors. Toronto Raptors have stated they're going to go big fishing in the offseason. And all this can actually occur before the NBA draft. I think it's June 25th or something like that, right? So I don't think anything is going to happen before the playoffs are over, but I think something's going to happen either on draft day or before draft day. So let's just go over this again. If you have Giannis, you obviously got to give up a lot of pieces to get him, because you just eliminated your draft capital when you traded for Mikal Bridges. So you got to give up a lot of pieces there. You also have to consider Kevin Durant. Now, Kevin Durant is an elite superstar, but he's on his last year. And Durant can actually dictate on where he wants to go, because this is obviously his last year. He's a superstar. He's been around for quite some time. I'm pretty sure the Phoenix Suns would do that for him, but I'm not so sure about the Milwaukee Bucks. See, the Milwaukee Bucks, they still have 2 years with Giannis, and to be frank, Giannis is either staying in Milwaukee, in my opinion, he's staying in Milwaukee, or he's getting shipped out prior to the deadline. And I don't know where, but I'm hearing rumors of Toronto. Obviously, the Knicks are going to make a push to get him a trade package to get Giannis before the trade deadline. Then obviously you have the San Antonio Spurs. You have a bunch of other teams, but the hottest rumor out there right now is the Knicks. The Knicks. Then you got the Raptors, and then you got Jason Kidd interviewing for the Knicks job. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, because he's still under contract with the Dallas Mavericks. But on the flip side, now you got Kevin Durant rumors. So can the Knicks pull this off? One of the players, at least, Giannis or Kevin Durant. I don't know, because that's going to take quite a bit of negotiation, because obviously you got to give up Mikal Bridges. Obviously you have to give up Karl Anthony Towns. I don't even know what draft capital they have. They gave 5 first rounder, I'm pretty sure it's 5, to the Brooklyn Nets for Mikal Bridges. So there's quite a bit of negotiation happening, but leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me what you guys think. Where is Giannis going to end up? Where is Kevin Durant going to end up? If they're going to go to the Spurs, if they're going to go to the Knicks, if they're going to go to the Raptors, we have no idea. Something is going to happen. I've never seen it like this before the trade deadline, before the draft day. I've seen it before free agency. I've seen it after free agency, but I've never seen it before the draft day. That's how hot these rumors are. It's gonna transpire, something's gonna happen, and I don't foresee anything happening until Giannis either asks for a trade or he does not ask for a trade. We'll see. Leave a comment in the comment section. As always, Jag from Jaggy Sports.